Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. Quick comment review from the last video. Thank you very much, as always. I talked about these both a little bit on the Rockies video, but again, in case people watch only one series and not the other, the pattern is real. Said he loved the audio. Thank you very much. And Ironhead34 also liked the audio. Said that there's no more popping, there's no more spiking, which is excellent. And quickly summing up his other point, which I think is a very good one, is when you're in the off season, the development lab, you should always be using the development lab twice, because you can get in some defensive stuff. We did that a little bit with the Rockies, but we're gonna need to do it again, I think. So, all season reasonably quiet. Not a whole lot happened here. The biggest change was, I think, trading away Carlos Geronimo, who has found himself a new team. And let's see here. Let me see if I can quickly find you that trade here. No, it's going to be quick just to go to the trade log. The major transactions log. Or am I getting confused again? Is Geronimo and the Rockies series? I am constantly struggling to remember what's going on in which team. Because I traded a bunch of people, but I'm pretty sure. No, it's definitely in this one. But what did I get for Geronimo here? I traded Timothy Lawman to get some prospects, plus Steve White. And Geronimo turned into a handful of minor leaguers as well. Replacing him at shortstop is going to be Jerkovsky. And replacing Jerkovsky at third base is going to be Luis Perez. Now, you may remember Luis Perez from last season when he played a little bit of first for us, but now he's going to get to play some third. It's a bit awkward, I'll admit. It's not a perfect fit. He's not a defensive dynamo or anything like that, but I think he's good enough. Good enough as well. Good enough? Okay. Lineup is basically the same as last year, other than the newly acquired Perez getting a bigger role. I say newly acquired, we've had him for quite some time. Bullpen is a little different. We acquired Huigon Park in free agency to help stabilize the bullpen. Donald Kirch is also somebody we picked up through the Rule 5 draft. Michael Lowney was called up from the minors after he was just drafted in the first round last season. And Francisco Andrade also made the team out of the minors. In terms of backups, not much has changed here, to be honest with you. Danny Ramirez is still on the roster. Danny's going to be a fascinating case study, and how do I get his bat into the lineup? But for right now, he's just going to kind of hang out and be cool about it. Sisto Casadora also made the opening day roster for the first time. He's going to be an interesting bat to have off the bench, gives a little bit of depth. Raul Ramirez gets to stick around mostly because he's out of options, but this is quite literally his last season, I think. Unless he can really impress me. Yeah. Edwin Hernandez could do the nicest thing ever and opt out of his contract, but that'll be after next season, and I don't think he's going to do it. I think he would be incredibly stupid if he did. It's just what's going to happen, right? He's going to take the deal. He's going to make me suffer through another season or two, and then we can say goodbye to him. Friends, don't overpay for first baseman. He's had great seasons here and there, but he doesn't stay healthy. And even when he is healthy, like he was last season, he's just not what he used to be anymore. A lot of his power is just gone. Kind of sad, actually. Yeah. Oh well, let's play some baseball. A week for a guy named Jerkovsky with a hand contusion, eh? Highly sus. It's more honestly, probably Yurkovsky. But I just like saying Yurkovsky because it's funny. Evidently, I'm a 12-year-old boy. Evidently. Okay. Personal message, Mike Cole. Stuff drops it, but movement goes up. That's pretty good. Monteleone gets worse. That's not a great look for him. Other people, generally speaking, stick right around where they were. Tom Holtzclaw sounds like a new fucking house from Harry Potter, right? I'm a Holtzclaw. Vinny Guarani is pretty good. He's still very, very, very risky, but I still think there's something going on there, maybe. Those said Manny Machado, like, I'm going to try to get through the league again with, like, a clever hat. It says Mercado, which is not the same as Machado. You're going to miss 4 days. We picked up a couple minor leaguers. All this is great. Let's just keep on going. 6 weeks for Murguia isn't the worst thing in the world, but it might be the worst thing in the world for him. Murguia is on the very thinnest device to begin with. So anything that costs him time could definitely cost him in the long run. I'm going to call up Sam Friels, but I don't intend to play him. I intend to play Casadora. Can Denny Ramirez play the outfield, actually? I want to see if he can hit. No, not really. Igarashi definitely could play the outfield. Interesting. We put Igarashi out in like one of the corners, and then we let Danny Ramirez DH question mark. I'm willing to give it a try, actually. I think it could be very beneficial. I know it's going to be a bit of a rough transition, and the fact he doesn't have a great arm does cause me a little bit of concern. But I think we're making the right choice, my friends. I think we're making the very right choice. Get a chance to have Danny Ramirez flash some lumber and see what he can manage while our current right fielder recovers for a bit. Also, some of the people have already posted some great ideas in the Rockies video, but I just want to reiterate. I am looking for ideas for the next season. The Rockies video had some really interesting ones, including doing a stats-only playthrough. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that, but it's definitely exciting. It's definitely an interesting idea. Chance Underwood 8943 says we should go do the Pirates. We've done the Pirates before. And that was a pretty fun series, so it could be something we could do again, I suppose. The Pattern is Real wants us to do the Cardinals. So yeah. Ironhead 34 was the one who recommended the stats only playthrough. I'm really excited about the advanced stats. Maybe that could be a very cool way to get a little bit more going on there. Maybe. We've got a fair bit of power in this lineup, which makes me pretty happy. It's a big contrast from the Rockies lineup, which struggles a little bit to hit the long ball. I mean, if Edwin Peralta just casually leads the league in everything that matters, that would be excellent for this club. I'm very in favor of that happening. Very in favor. Josh Heath gets a chance to return. He's better than Sin for sure. He's much better than Sin, both in terms of like his overall skill set and the fact I would like another lefty. I think we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Mr. Sin here and welcome back the Heathinator, as literally no one has ever called him, and no one ever will, probably. A middle relief, please. We're too early in the season, so I'm not going to worry about stats yet. We're just going to see what happens here. But it's stats only, I would always have to worry about stats. Damn. I don't know if that would make a particularly compelling series for YouTube, but if I do get a chance to play more offline, it might be a very fascinating idea. Lowney's losing velocity, but that's okay when he's already close to 100 miles an hour. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. Sin losing velocity does because he's already 30 years old. Losing velocity this early in your career means you're not very likely to have an outstanding career. Marty Fridley's trying to get better. Ricardo Reyes is getting better. Nice. Cool. Jaden Diallo is improving his velocity. That's excellent. He's such a weird pitcher. Like, he's got great stuff and great control, but his movement is terrible. So he's either going to strike people out or they're going to beat the crap out of him. Francisco Andrade is Rookie of the Month. Nice. Alex Gonzalez got a shutout. Of course he did. Mike Coleman shut me out. That's rude as heck. Very rude. Mike Cole's going to miss 4 days with a sore shoulder. That doesn't bother me. He should be good to go by the time he starts again. And if he is injured, then that's what our new youngster is for, right? All right, what's going on this season? Well, we're doing pretty good. Abel Zarn has been pretty bad. Luis Perez has been pretty bad. Igarashi has been reasonably good. Maybe not outstanding, but reasonably good. Peralta's been phenomenal. Peralta's been an MVP caliber player, and that covers up a lot of flaws on the rest of the roster. Edwin Hernandez is meh. It seems like this year is going to be an off year for offense because he's putting up similar numbers to last year, except for having more power. And he looks like he's going to be about twice as good. Willie Vasquez is proving to be an excellent catcher. I do not expect this to continue, but I'll happily take it while it's here. Danny Ramirez already proving to be an excellent decision to let him go ahead and get some playing time. And Chilo's here too. And then Jerkowski's also having an outstanding season. So we're getting a lot of offense from unexpected places, which is fantastic. And I hope it continues into the season. Chilo is always going to be on this team because of his defense, because he is a skilled enough infielder to play any position. But there's no rule that says he has to start. I do question Danny Ramirez as a second baseman. I don't think I would trust him there. But you have other options, right? Like, there are other people that could play second base, like Ron Behrman, that I don't think would hurt us too much if we decided to give him a bit more attention. So, Mr. Chilo, hopefully you're able to sort out your bat so we can make some moves later on. How's the pitching doing? Alex Gonzalez remains exceptional. He should have won Cy Young last year. I'm still bitter about it. Mike Cole putting up a excellent sophomore campaign. Really great to see that. Sato is not doing so great. Now, you might be looking, if you're an old school kind of guy, you might be thinking to yourself, but Abby, he's got a 3.73 ERA. That's not so bad. And you're right, that's not so bad. But everything else about him is trending in the very wrong direction. He's walking more, giving up more home runs, striking out less, giving up more hits. As a technical term, he is showing that he is washed at this moment. He's maybe a little bit lucky. Fine. I'm certainly not going to begrudge him luck. But Sato's time is approaching its end. Picard, on the other hand, is having a phenomenal season. Great to see that. And Jeff Allen is even making himself useful. So the bullpen, Mr. DeLeon here is really struggling quite badly. If you take a look, he's just giving up home runs that are ridiculous, right? This will probably fix itself, but it is something worth monitoring as the season progresses. Donald Kirch is also struggling. That's not terribly surprising, but everyone else the bullpen is doing an amazing job. We're doing a really great job defensively too, which I'm really excited about. It's the number one reason why even if Chilo can't hit, we probably keep him in the lineup because he's just that good defensively. Nice. All right, friends, before you go on to the next month, I need to step away, so I will be back before you know it. So, my friends, it's May 1st. Things seem like they're going pretty well. I don't see any real need to change anything. I do have my eyes on a couple of people, but for right now, I'm pretty psyched. Let's do it. Let's go on to June. Okay, we're going to miss Brad Barnes for 4 months and Ambrose Chilo. It's not great. Okay, so decisions to make. Who starts at second base? It could be Danny Ramirez. Honestly, like somebody a little bit more reliable defensively. I think that person is Ron Behrman. It could also be Alejandro Hernandez. Could be a pretty good choice, but with his arm, he's really better suited to be a third baseman, I think. Could be Hugo Gonzalez, I suppose. So all I cared about was defense, but I do want at least some level of offense. So again, that keeps bringing me back to Mr. Behrman here. Although maybe Hugo Gonzalez is the right choice. Is he? Steve White is an interesting player, but not one that I necessarily trust to play second base every day. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a thing. And that thing is promoting Ron Behrman. It's the right choice. No, I am going to wait to fill the release spot because I want to bring up Mitchell Backhouse to see if he's got anything left for us. So that's the plan, Stan. Man. Can. Abel Zahn wants to come back here. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, this guy thinks he deserves to play. No, that's not going to happen, my friend. Just isn't. Murguia's ready to come back. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't think I care. He's got option years left. Let's go ahead and send him to the minors. Oh, I never did reset the lineup, did I? No, I did, sort of. Let's do this real quick. Oh, right. Behrman. That's what I was missing. Sorry. The Man of Bears? Maybe. I just think Behrman is going to be the better long-term play, and so I'm willing to let him get some reps in, even as I recognize Hugo Gonzalez is a significantly better defender. Significantly better. Casadora wants to get some playing time in. I'm not opposed to it, but not every 6 days. I think maybe once every 10 days is fine. Give Danny Ramirez a break every now and again. 10 games. Okay. Let's do the thing. Hugo, my friend, you can be the defensive sub as well. All right. We get Backhouse back, and then Mr. Backhouse is just going to go ahead and slide in and be a middle reliever. Josh Heath, I'm going to convert you to being a specialist that's also a middle reliever. Here we go. Picard, you dumb son of a bitch. I mean, yes, DJ Hellhan is a good player, but like, maximum erg. Sort of getting 18-7. That's pretty crazy. Edwin and Peralta is briefly flirting with Triple Crown territory, by the way. I don't know if you caught that. That's pretty bananas. No, I think pretty sure we already locked up Edwin Peralta, right? Didn't we? Okay, Sergio De Leon is hurt. That's not so bad. Let me gain a reliever that doesn't suck. It's harder than you think. We could pick up Tanner Lee, I suppose. I mean, I guess we could also do John Sin, but John Sin was already struggling pretty badly, so I think we'll do Tanner Lee for the present. Second setup guy has to be Michael Lowney. Mr. Park, you're the new 8th inning setup guy. Mr. Lowney, you're the new 7th inning setup dude. Excuse me. Excuse me. Incredible. Any changes I need to make to the lineup now? Abel Zarn very clearly should not be leading off anymore. He probably shouldn't even be playing at all, but he definitely should not be leading off. I'm very strongly incentivized to try to trade him now because he just isn't doing anything. How's Igarashi taking to right field? He's actually doing pretty well. So I'm pretty happy about that one. Look, I know Sam Friels isn't the greatest player in history, but the fact of the matter is that Abel Zarn sucks the big one. And keeping him in the lineup isn't doing us any favors, right? I'd rather have Murguia back. Actually, I wouldn't rather have Murguia back. Murguia can sit in the minors and think about what he's done. You can be promoted to AA, Enrique Sanchez. I believe in you. I believe in everyone. Zarn cannot lead off anymore. That part is very apparent to me, that he is no longer permitted to lead off. I mean, I could just literally start Raul Ramirez instead, play him at left field, and see what he can do. But I know this isn't who he is, right? That's stupid. That's stupid talk. And I won't be a part of it. Jerkovsky wouldn't be a terrible leadoff guy. I mean, he'd be better than Zarn. But that's not a terribly difficult thing to achieve. Daniel Ramirez is just a really good all-around hitter, so I definitely don't want to make him the leadoff guy. I want the leadoff guy to be somebody that's not going to hurt me if I pull him out of a spot where he could hit more home runs. So I guess Jerkovsky is the better fit. So I think we'll just flip him for right now. Luis Perez is doing okay, but is also not flawless. So I think a world in which we traded Abel Zarn is probably a world that I want to be part of, but I don't think there's going to be very much demand for him. We can ask the question, right? What do we got, gamers? Most of you will try to dump salary, which I get. Gallardo's not very interesting. Luis Jesus Waters, not very interesting. Ivan Mercado, not very interesting. Orlando Oriana, not very interesting. Like, these are all okay players, but I'm taking on a lot of salary if I do most of these trades. Arcila seems like a fantastically stupid decision. I'm not going to do that. Shep Shank is fine, I suppose, but not especially useful. Yeah. I just don't see it, guys. I don't see any players here that really get my motor going. Not anymore. We can have this discussion again toward the trade deadline and see if there's somebody that could really transform the team. But for now, I think just setting him to the back of the line is going to help us out a fair bit. Edwin Hernandez, I think we're just stuck with. Again, I can move him down in the lineup, and I think I will. But yeah, let's move up Vasquez and Ramirez. I think cutting him would be a huge mistake, so I'm not going to do that part. That's a little bit too far even for me. It's too much money. If this is the Rocky series, I would cut him because money wouldn't bother me quite as much there. But here, most definitely. Draft Combine. Hoo-wee. Overbooked. Let's get rid of some nerds here. How's that? Still overbooked? Still overbooked? Are you just lazy, dude? Okay, there we go. Neat. Getting Alex Alvarado back is legitimately huge. Is there any reason not to activate him immediately? I mean, I guess there's a question of what do we do with Sato. If we get rid of Sato, I'd actually be kind of on board with that. Anybody want Sato? Anybody want to give me a great deal of salary relief for basically nothing in return? Probably not, but maybe you will. Nobody? I suppose that's fair. That's a fair statement. I can have Mark Howie, who isn't a terrible player, by the way. Or can I have Vinny Garcia, who is? Yeah, we'll take Mark Howie. I guess people love Mark Howie. He's, I guess, everything we've ever wanted and more in a baseball player. That's neat. I like him as a bench bat. I like him a fair amount as a bench bat, but I think I've got too many people that need some attention, so we're not going to be doing that. We're going to send him to AAA. And then we're going to activate Alvarado, and he's going to go right into the rotation, lickety-split. The real question is, what do you do about Jeff Allen? And I don't have an answer to that one for you. I don't have an answer to that. He's still doing reasonably well, And because he's doing reasonably well, I don't see any reason to upset the apple cart. But especially with Andrade pitching very, very well, we're probably going to want to consider moving on in the not too distant future. Potentially. Tanner Lee's getting his brains hammered in. I guess that's fun. Not everyone can be amazing. I do think Alvarado has pitched, I guess he'll pitch a couple seasons in the majors. I suppose it's reasonable to let him go ahead and work on his shit. Remember when we got Sato, how excited I was? Now, not so much. Not so much. Where is Mr. Sato? Where's my trade? There it is. Chilo. Behrman's doing pretty good offensively, but his glove is pretty bad. I think bringing back Chilo is the correct play. I think having a great defense really makes the rest of the team work much more beautifully, and so I don't see the point in keeping Behrman if he's going to play this poorly at second base. He just doesn't have the range we're looking for. And that's fine, right? Like, not everybody can be perfect, but I think Behrman's going to enjoy a little more seasoning. And we're going to let Chilo have his job back. Plus, he's humble. Who could say no to someone being humble, right? There you go. Shall we proceed in a forward manner? I think so. Andrade's only going to miss a week. I'm not even going to bother putting him on the IL. We just let somebody else throw some innings, and then we'll be okay. Is he really a top 6 third baseman? I mean, maybe. We have done a pretty great job developing some really young hitters this season, and so I think that's good enough for Brian Calmer to get an extension. I think he has more than earned his continued employment with the Chicago White Sox, so congratulations on that. And we're just going to keep the minor league gang together, too. The White Sox are now a mere 6th, which is still pretty great. I wouldn't mind trading Zarn at the deadline. Picard, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you keep getting suspended? Is this your stupid way of trying to stay healthy? You just keep getting suspended so you don't have to pitch? Who fucking knows, but I'm getting sick of your shit, Picard. Alvarado getting velocity is quite a shock, but a welcome one. Gonzalez's movement is slipping slightly, but he's still such a great pitcher from top to bottom that I'm not that bothered by it. Cole's losing stamina. That does concern me. A little bit. Good old Dave Whitson. Alvarado adding velocity is actually very impressive to me, especially given that he's already reasonably old, sort of. I'm glad he hit his 300th home run. I'm truly happy for him, but he's not the guy he used to be. But it is what it is, you know? Jerkovsky's not a perfect leadoff guy, but I think he's good enough for my purposes. I wish Perez was a little bit better as a number 2 hitter, but we'll get by. He's doing all right defensively. He's not amazing, but he's not bad either. Whoever said get Igarashi out in the field was absolutely right. He just wasn't at first base because he's been a really good right fielder. I know, by the way, also still a great hitter. I apologize today. For some reason, my throat is being a jerk. And I wish it wouldn't be. Damn. Let's see who makes the All-Star team. I bet we're gonna have a fair few. Delton was actually pitching fairly poorly, so I think letting him rehab in the minors is perfectly viable for right now. Let's do it. Mm. We've reached the All-Star break. I bet we get at least 5 All-Stars. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. That's my vibe, that we get 5 All-Stars. Maybe we don't get 5, but maybe we do. All right. We have 2 starting pitchers and a reliever. That's 3. We have Willie Vasquez. That's 4. Danny Ramirez. That's 5. Igarashi. That's 6. Peralta. That's 7. 7 All-Stars. That's pretty impressive, especially from a guy that hasn't even been on the team that long in Danny Ramirez. It's pretty good. Hey, Mark Ramirez made the All-Star team. Remember when he used to be on my team and then I traded him? It got me Zarn and Nels. So Nels in particular has been more than advertised. So I'm pretty pumped about that one. Lots of All-Stars makes me happy. Igarashi finally becomes an All-Star. He should have been an All-Star last year too, but when you're carrying like 12 first basemen, I get it. Nobody here except for Enrique Sanchez, but he's having a pretty great season already. So I'm pretty happy about that one. All right, let's keep this thing keeping on, sort of. I wonder if Igarashi was actually eligible to be on the thing. He's gonna miss a couple days. This is the time to get hurt. Get some nice recovery going on. Amazing. We could definitely use some blue chippers. 100%. I have a reasonable amount of money here, so I don't mind paying extra if the player is worth it. Let's start with Ricardo Cabillan. Nope. All this is great. All this is not. This is extremely not great. So, thank you, but no thank you. Let's keep looking. Better, good, too much, not a starter. I think you also say goodbye to Jake Bain, too. You like Jamie Edwards. We can look at Jamie Edwards, but I think he's also going to be a no from me. Probably. Here it says you want the slot, which is really funny. Maybe it's because you really want to pitch for me. There's a lot to like about you, but I want to look a little bit deeper. Casey Holbrook. You're a very complete hitter. You're not a good shortstop, Let's not get that twisted. You're a terrible shortstop, but I bet you could pick up second or third reasonably easily. Holbrook looks like a good choice. Kyle Kling, a little bit less so. He's fun. Like, I like Kyle Kling just fine, but I don't think I want to jump on him. If Jimmy Edwards genuinely wants the slot, then he is worthy to me. With 4 excellent pitches, stamina not the best, understood, but really good velocity and a ton of skill. Yeah, he doesn't want the slot. That was lying to me. I want Kyle Kling. I do want him. I like his positional flexibility, even if he's not great at anything, and I think his bat is going to play quite well in the majors. I think Casey Holbrook is the smarter play because he is just that bit more well-rounded. He'd be an okay outfielder, actually. I think we take Casey Holbrook, but I want to hope that Kyle Kling is still around by the time I get to pick again. He probably won't be. But I think this is the correct choice. Did somebody steal Kyle Kling from me? No, they didn't. Give him to me right now. I understand that there are some really great players still around here, but I feel like getting these 2 infielders really strengthens us and gives us a lot of room to grow in the future. Andy Cooper is a great home run hitter and has no other usable skills. I think we wait for him to drop significantly. We like Mark McClelland, huh? I do like Mark McClelland. This concerns me a lot. He's not very adaptable, but he's a very, very, very good hitter, and I'm willing to let him try to figure it out in a good system. So we're gonna go for this one right away. Ken Borowy here. I do want to get some pitching added to the team. So close. That's not gonna cut it. We like good old Jimbo Harden. Eh. Eh. What is the deal of Bryant Reeves? I think he's the pick. I think he doesn't have quite the upside, but being a high velocity lefty with good stamina and really good overall skills here, I think he's the pick. I think he's the pick. I think Ken Borowy has enough. I cannot pay him a signing bonus. That's how I feel right now. What's DeAndre Thomas's deal? Is he a really good reliever? He's an excellent reliever. Great velocity, nice fastball slider combo. Control could be a little bit better. I'm in. I am so in, you guys. So in. Andy Cooper still wants to make $1.5 million. The only thing you're good at is hitting home runs. And no matter how good you may be hitting home runs, that's not a skill that I can trust. Ken Borowy is a risk. A big risk. Josh Lindblom Jr. is much less of a risk. He's a hard worker, some very nice skills here. Velocity's not outstanding, but it's going to get better, and his stamina is good enough to be a starter. Josh, welcome to the White Sox. All right. Antonio Mendoza. Nope. Nick Henshaw, maybe. He's fine, but not outstanding. Jared Nash is acceptable. I don't think he's anything amazing, but I think he's fine. Josh Moore is fine. Chris Vanderlinden, even though his uncle might be running a gang, is not fine. Bob Mackey is very meh. I think we'll go Chad Taylor. Or Dewey. I'm going to take Borowy. I think he's not the best fit. I think he's going to have a lot of issues. But I think for what it's worth, if he works out, he's going to be an excellent pitcher. We want Tim Ellis home. He's okay. I can take Tim Ellis. That doesn't bother me. Not necessarily my first choice, but he is a choice. Antonio Mendoza at least draws walks and hits home runs. And I think that's enough for me to take him at this point in the draft. As an 8th round pick, if we get anything out of him, we'll be pretty pleased. Mike Perigo. Fastball slider, great velocity, kind of expensive. Control is dog shit. This is never going to work. I am not even going to give him for nothing. I'm not going to take that deal. Mr. Johnson here, I will take. I think he's got some really nice skills. His velocity isn't outstanding, but he is left-handed. And so I'm willing to give him a bit more of a pass on being a little bit more low velocity. Mr. Johnson, welcome to the club. Mike Perigo is still sticking around here. I guess in the 10th round you can take a risk on a guy that he learns how to throw strikes, but I don't think it's the best possible choice. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Any really great batting eyes in this draft? We have a very, very good one in Chris Christini. That's his only skill, though. I mean, I've taken stupider players. Maybe some even in this draft. So you know what? I'm in. Steve Zilkman, I'm actually genuinely excited about. Let's get him on this team. I think he's a very accomplished, well-rounded catcher, and I think he adds a lot of skill to this franchise. Give me that stuff potential. All pitchers. Hasten Kitts is certainly not a flawless prospect, but I think he's very interesting, and I want to see how he develops, so I think we'll add him to our franchise. Done. We're now in the 14th round. Let's go back and let our esteemed colleague make some picks for us. We like Josh Walden. Do I like Josh Walden? I do not like him. The velocity is a problem, but given how big he is, I think he's got a chance to find an extra gear. And if he does, I think his skill set hangs really well together. So we're going to give him a shot. Hogan. Meh. I guess meh is good enough at this point in the draft where like we shouldn't be holding out for like amazingness. I suspect. Anthony Adams, we like. I dislike him quite strongly. He's just not very good. Tyler Marshall's all over the place, but all over the place is much more interesting than is bad now and will always be bad. Welcome aboard, Adams. Now you want to take Tyler Marshall? Tyler Marshall's alright. We can grab him. Grab some nice live arms late in the draft. Always a good idea. Brian Miller's okay. He's not a very good catcher. And I don't think he's got the bat to stick anywhere else. But, you know, he could surprise us. We could be like, damn. He hit 96 home runs in 5 minutes. Bobby Parker is not going to happen here. He's already 20 years old, so this is really disappointing. His terrible control is never going to pan out. Same with Mario Montoya. Josh Anderson is the least less terrible, I guess. So we can give him a shot. Any hitters grab our attention here. Dylan Jolly is fine. Jim Corley is not fine. Andy Marshall's actively terrible, so I guess it's going to be good old Dylan Jolly. Jolly D, as he likes to be called. Definitely. Let's pay you some money, my friends. Let's make sure you all get a nice little signing bonus. And then we can proceed with our season. I would like to trade Zarn very much. I just don't think anyone's going to want him. And even if they do, there's nothing that I know that for a fact that I want. Hernandez is going to miss a week. I'm so devastated. Alex Gonzalez getting hurt would definitely trigger a lot of things for me. Please don't be hurt. Oh, thank God. Phew. Hugo Lorenzo is thoroughly terrible. I don't think that's going to work for me, dog. Dog. It's Brian Bittner hanging around in the league. Good for him. Good for him. What do we got here? Josh Billy. As relievers go, he's not bad. But Omar Ragoza is actually quite interesting, and I don't want to give him up yet. Zarn, if you would take a new contract for like $5 million a year, only then would I consider it. I think you are the height of absurdity asking for $24 million. You ain't that guy anymore, my dude. No, I don't think so. Elias Rosario's gonna miss 9 months. What a bummer. Maybe he's pregnant. I mean, probably not, right? But you never know. All right. Mission number 1 today is I want to move Abel Zarn off of this franchise. I'd like to get a prospect if I can. I'd love to get someone who can play a outfielder right now, but I don't think it's necessarily a fair argument. What sort of outfielders are available right now? Okay, game. Back to where I was, thank you. Not for Rygosa. I think this deal I must decline, sadly. Logsdon is fine, but I need better than fine. Who's got outfielders? Tercios is a really good hitter, but he can't play the outfield, so he's of no interest to me. Rob Biohei, Eddie Hernandez. I could get by with Eddie Hernandez, I think, if If you would do Hernandez for Zarn, I think it's a deal I would take. You like this deal? I don't, so yeah. Could I get Zaragoza actually? Is that asking for too much? Possibly? Okay. Zaragoza is a hard no from me, from you. Duly noted. Domingo Aceveda doesn't really interest me. Chukyan Kian, I could be kind of hyped about, so this is fine for me. Can I get one more dude? What about Willie Isaacs? Willie Isaacs would also be acceptable. All right. Eddie Hernandez is gonna go in and play left field for the rest of the season. Um, he'll probably want an extension, which he's probably not going to get. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine that he is the new left fielder. Goodbye, Zarni Poo. I would say that I'll miss you, but I won't. Is there anything else that I want to either get rid of or add on? Not especially. Eddie Hernandez is only making $2 million. I was making $11 million, but it's prorated, right? Yeah, he's not coming back. Okay. Do I want anything? A really good veteran reliever to replace Tanner Lee actually could be very beneficial. I'm kind of into that as an idea here. Plus, relievers are one of the easiest things to acquire on the trade deadline day. So, let's have a look at it, shall we? Rafael Noriega is not bad, but not good either. Yeah, I don't think this is what I'm looking for. Who's got relievers? Ben Dover? I mean, Ben Davis would actually be a lovely addition to this bullpen. How much are you going to cost me? Not very much at all. Nick Parker, I kind of want to hang on to. Eddie Kloss is a one trick, is a 1.5 trick pony. So I think this deal makes sense to me. Let's do it. I think Ben Davis represents a substantial improvement in my bullpen's capacity that I'm really excited about. I guess there's also Sergio De Leon that we have to deal with somehow. But I think just adding on Ben Davis to give us a really good reliever, even if he's not a closer anymore, is very useful for me. I think Donald Kirch could possibly go, and if Donald Kirch is going to go, then that would probably be when Sergio Leone gets to come back. Or maybe just trade Sergio De Leon? No, that's silly. I don't want to do that part. But I do like the acquisition of Ben Davis. I think that helps us out quite a bit. A lot of people doing good work in this bullpen and in this rotation, actually. We don't know how long Hugo Gonzalez is out, so that's something worth monitoring, I suppose. I mean, De Leon is definitely better than Kirch, right? Let's try to trade Kirch. See if anybody is interested in giving us a prospect for him. Damn. I'm just gonna release him then. He can go back to his home club. We can bring DeLeon back, and he can be a middle reliever for us. That's reasonable. Pitching I'm good at. Lineup I'm mostly fine with, unless someone wants Edwin Hernandez, which I doubt that they do. That's probably the only other person I'd consider trading. Are you willing to consider a trade, Mr. Hernandez? No? Okay. Well, fuck you then. I think this is perfectly fine, right? Like, I think Jerkovsky's having a great season. He's good enough offensively. He's good defensively. He's all the things. I think this is a fine deadline, and I think we just go ahead and call it here. Don't want Noriega. I don't need Bill Kruger. I just finished Expedition 33 last week, and oh my lord. What a phenomenal game, but what also a game that just... It is the kind of game that I had to take breaks from, because if you played it for too long, I would just lose it. I would have a very difficult time, like, processing mentally. Right, I get that, but I actually kind of really like Jonathan Miranda. Julio Perez is uninteresting, but I could be persuaded to grab Jonathan Miranda. Fernando Gomez is a legit pitcher, but he's also very, very old, very, very far away from the majors. And Chris Ayala ain't nothing. Jonathan Miranda is a really solid hitter and a really okay outfielder. And I think it makes sense to me to go ahead and accept this trade. If they would take someone other than Gomez, I'd be a little bit happier about it. Well, I can either accept the offer or not. I'm going to take the offer. I do very, very much regret having to give up Fernando Gomez. But I really think that Jonathan Miranda gives us something we don't currently have, which is a very excellent, well-rounded outfielder. Better than Sam Friels, for sure. Although Sam Friels is actually having a really good season. Sisto Casadora is good, too. Raul Ramirez is also having a great year. Mr. Miranda, I'm going to stick you in AAA for right now. But when the time comes, I will call upon your services, dear friend. You're probably better than Eddie Hernandez, in all honesty, but he's already injury prone anyway, so if like his dick falls off or whatever, then we can swap you out. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm sorry to say that the time of... Okay, Hugo Gonzalez is going to be injured. It's actually a good time to give Alejandro Hernandez some playing time, right? He's a pretty decent all-around utility guy. I think he'd be a fine addition to this roster. Bearman I'm less excited about, to be honest with you, because he can only play second and first. And I need a reliable shortstop if something happens. Ricky Castro's not that great. Armando Sosa's alright, I guess. White Steve is fine. White Steve's actually pretty decent too. But I think we're going to go with Mr. Hernandez here, and we're just going to set him up to be our utility guy. I think that's appropriate. I don't mind playing Casadora if you want, but I've struggled to figure out why he would play this often. But he is having a good season, so... We are, and I think it's important to give credit where it's due. we're getting a lot out of our bench this season. Like, a lot. Like, a guy like Raul Ramirez or Sam Friels or Sisto Casadora are all being very, very valuable pieces off the bench. And then there's Edwin Hernandez who sucks, but it's fine. It's fine. You can't win them all, right? I wish Edwin Hernandez would take a trade. That would open up many, many doors for us. A large quantity of entry portals. But for right now, I guess we just deal with it. How bad would it be if I released him? Pretty bad, right? So it's $79 million over 5 years. So not quite 20 million a year. Actually, no, just over 15 million a year. Is that worth it to get him off my team? I mean, there's Willis Hidalgo. I've always wanted to see what he could do in the major leagues given the opportunity. It could be kind of hype. Pat Forbes is all right. Apologies for the borking dog who is being quite borky. Forgive me. Is it worth cutting bait? I think right now he's mostly harmless. And because he's mostly harmless, like, I think he can stay for the rest of this season, but he is very much on the short list of people that could disappear quickly into next season. We just have to learn the lesson to stop giving Edwin Hernandez big contracts. Stop giving first baseman big contracts. That didn't work out in the Rockies series with Charlie Condon. It isn't working out with him either. So Barnes is going to miss another 5 months. That's whatever. I've made the postseason. I'm not particularly surprised, but it's still welcome just the same. Losing Danny Ramirez for 6 weeks unironically hurts quite a bit. He's actually been a sensational player for us this season. So losing him for the postseason is kind of stinky. Do we let Murguia make his triumphant return? He is hitting much better in AAA. I think letting him come back to DH is a reasonable take. I think Sisto Casadora could also DH quite effectively and has probably deserved it more than Murguia does. Oh, Jonathan Miranda, yeah, he gets to come up. But I think the guy who's going to get the DH spot is going to be Casadora. I think that's the correct decision to make at this point in the season. He's been real good. He's been very productive, and this still gives me lots and lots of options if I need them, if they are required. You want Miranda playing every 3 games? I think that's excessive, but I think every 5 is fine. I think letting Miranda get in some reps at DH is also acceptable. Oh, do you have like a big hole in your swing? Oh yeah, you're pretty much useless against lefties. Duly noted. Swapped. Swarped. All right, let's. This really sucks, actually. I guess it's possible he could return in the. Oh, I guess we have more time left in the season than I thought. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe we can get him back fairly soon. Hugo Gonzalez can return, which I am actually on board with. So we say goodbye to Alejandro Hernandez after his very brief appearance in the major leagues. Welcome back, Hugo Gonzalez. Give me the depth charts, and then this is all fine. This is fine. Wow. Okay, my DHs are cursed this season. Good to know. I gotta be honest. I really want to try Hidalgo. Like having this much power, like I know he's unmotivated. He's a bit of a jackass, but I'm wondering if giving him a chance to do some DH work is going to benefit us. No, it's got to be Murguia, right? Hidalgo's too big a jerk, and Murguia at least has something to offer us. What's his relatively useful power? Yeah, let's do it. Let's let Murguia come back and be a DH. Yeah, the fact that Hidalgo's lazy really saddens me. I think we're probably going to try to trade him in the off season. Just have the top two hitters in home runs, and a lot of other problems can be papered over. Don't sleep on the Tigers, but the Tigers are extremely excellent this year as well. They're just not quite as good as us. Not quite. Not quite. Casadora's ready to come back, unless Murguia has been killing it, which he hasn't been. Casadora gets his job back. I think Murguia is going to enjoy the unemployment line after this season, unless I can trade him for something useful. I want Danny Ramirez back very, very much, but I don't think it's something I'm going to be allowed to have. Look how long it took me to win the AL Central. That's how incredible the Tigers have been this year, too. All right, gentlemen, let's set the playoff roster. You know, I forgot completely about Mark Howie. Mark Howie would have been a pretty good choice, too. But I'm very content with this lineup. For the postseason, I think it's definitely going to be Gonzalez, Cole, and Alvarado, with Picard and Allen providing some emergency starting support and long relief when needed. Because we had the first round bye, I can be reasonably certain that Alex Gonzalez is going to be ready to go for our opening round. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, looks like it's time to face Detroit. As a baseball fan, this is everything you want in a series. The two clearly best player teams facing off. There's not much separating us either. The Tigers were slightly better offensively, we were slightly better pitching wise, so we're at hope that our superior pitching can help us out here. Alex Gonzalez got the job done. Nice work. Mike Cole. Look, this is not Mike Cole's fault. This is a rare misstep by Brian Niels. Or Nels. Alvarado, let's see what you can do. Alvarado got destroyed. Alex, come on, man. Okay. All right, Mike Cole, it's all up to you. You had an amazing game 2. A truly legendary game 2. And I really need you to bring that same energy again. I'll close my eyes. Did we do it? We did it. Hooray. Nice work. Mr. Jerkovsky, MVP of the series, your contribution is welcome. By the way, in case you didn't notice, we actually broke the American League record for wins. No, not the American League record for wins, sorry. Because the Seattle Mariners had 116 in 2001. We do teams. We want leaderboards. Fuck you, Bob Costas. Teams AL. Oh, the Rangers of 2041 won 113, so I don't even make a genuine dent in it. Boomer. We need to set up a 4th starter. That 4th starter is most definitely going to be somebody. All right, so there's really 3 choices here. There's Andrew Pekar. Andrew Pekar has been a reliable arm for us in the past. This year, not so much. This year, not very outstanding. Jeff Allen has built significantly off of his sophomore year. And is somebody that I think we could trust. Or there's the wild card Francisco Andrade, who's been really, really great. I think it's Jeff Allen. I think this is the correct decision. Does Picard like outstanding postseason stats? He's been all over the place, but he has mostly been pretty good. But I think Jeff Allen has earned the spot. At least that's my opinion, right? Until the next round, please and thank you. I think Jesus Chavez is going to very easily win MVP, but that Igarashi is in the conversation makes me very happy. Did I just see an old friend? It's Adam Wiley, you guys. Wow. So Jeff Allen gets to start game 1. Okay. Hey, this is fine. Okay, it's not fine. Nelson's job is literally to fix shit like this. He's really struggled in the postseason, actually, but Jeff Allen was amazing. So thank you, Jeff, for your hard work. Why is Alvarado pitching and not Alex? Alex Gonzalez might still be tired. Alex Gonzalez is more than ready. Get in there, champ. See, there you go. Mike Cole. Ooh, that's a bad one. I mean, it's not a bad one. It's a very, very close game. All these games have been very close. Okay. Series is tied up. Danny Ramirez coming back is literally the biggest news of all time, but I can't do anything about it yet. Oh no. Guys. All right, Alex Gonzalez, you got to get it done for us. And we've got to give ourselves a chance to make the World Series. Do it for Danny Ramirez, Alex. Okay, a walk-off win. All right. Mike, it's all on you, my friend. Gonna close my eyes again. It worked the last time. Worked again. Woohoo! We did it. Second time in a row. Incredible. But here's what really matters. I now get my DH back. And we take a look at the playoff coverage. Actually, I guess I should check, right? If my DH is having a really hot hand, Castador is actually really, really, really good. But I don't see a world in which I'd let Danny Ramirez sit on the bench. Right? Like, that can't happen. He's just that good. I'm going to leave somebody off the roster. I don't need this many outfielders. That's too many outfielders. Murguia, get out of here. Danny Ramirez, get in here. Danny Ramirez, get into the lineup. Sisto, you've been incredible. But Danny Ramirez has been top tier from top to bottom all season long. And I don't think it's something... Or we bench Edwin Hernandez and play Danny Ramirez at first. He's a very good first baseman. I think that's the play. And I am so sorry, Edwin Hernandez. But the fact of the matter is you're just not getting it done anymore. Danny Ramirez needs to play, and I want to keep respecting how good Sisto Casadora has been. Danny, you're taking over. And I think with this, I think this is probably it for Edwin Hernandez. If this is a decision I am making at the very highest pressure situation, that tells you a lot, in my opinion. Tells you a lot. Is Alex Gonzalez ready to go? He is totally exhausted. Duly noted. Nick the Booger. All right, guys. Let's get it done. Alex Alvarado, you got the mound for game 1. And we did it. Easy victory. You love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Sisto Casadora, faith rewarded. Jeff Allen, another huge victory. Awesome. Alex Gonzalez, of course he got it done. Michael, can we end it here? You're goddamn right we can. World Series fucking champions. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Who was the World Series MVP, by the way? It was Luis Perez. Outstanding. What an incredible team. What an absolutely incredible team. Probably one of the best I've had in OOTP 26. Just so good. Just so good. We'll break down the team, don't worry. I'm just making sure that we're on the off-season starts part of things before we make that decision. But Expedition 33, by the way, super duper highly recommended. Just make sure you give yourself space to let the game breathe, because it's a lot. There's a lot of emotion in it, and it's very frequent emotion. And it can be very disheartening. I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil anything. Huigon Park, you were a reliable arm when we needed it most. I'd say welcome to the 2050 Chicago White Sox. Fans love me. You love me. Everyone loves me. What an incredible season. Let's dive in. Okay. This is what Igarashi was signed for, to have MVP caliber seasons. And that's exactly what he's given us. Look, he was great last year. No problem with his performance last year. But now he's flawless. He's an outstanding corner outfielder. Not a ton of arm strength, so not a number of assists, but that's okay. 44 home runs, loads of doubles, almost a 300 batting average, drew tons and tons of walks, cut down on his strikeouts. Great job, Igarashi. But the real heart and soul of this team, and oh lordy, is this going to cost me a lot of fucking money, was Edwin Peralta. Like, this season is just mind-boggling. And we knew he could do it. We knew that this possibility existed. But, oh my goodness, what a season. Tremendous outfield play, led the league in home runs, just did it all. You're going to cost me a lot of money, but it's going to be worth every cent, I think. Another shocking, this is probably the most single surprising change, is Willie Vasquez utterly dominating. Look, last year he was good. He was very good last year, but this year he just dominated. It is not lost sight of me that a lot of players have ridiculously high BABIPs this season, so we can't assume this will ever happen again, but I'm going to enjoy it while we can. Jerkowski feels like a natural progression of what he did the season before. He had a little bit more luck with putting the ball into play, and he still delivered excellent defense and high-quality base running. This is what you're looking for in a shortstop. Happy to have him. Great job. Danny Ramirez, we always thought he would be a good bat. He proved it this season. He's definitely a worthy piece of the puzzle, whether at first base, whether at second, whether at DH. We'll find a spot for him and enjoy it. Jonathan Miranda barely played for me, but he was still very useful down the stretch. Look at that slugging percentage. You love to see it. I think Chilo is who he is. I just think he is who he is. And we have to accept that. He's going to be worth a couple of wins here and there. He's going to play very good defense, and he's going to hit the ball right around league average. That works for me. That absolutely works for me. Chilo, good job. Luis Perez, I really liked what he did this season. I think he definitely cooled off a lot toward the end of it, though. But this man's a literal World Series MVP. I can't get too angry at him for that. I want to see more. I want to see him push the pedal even further next season. But this is pretty solid. This is pretty solid play from him, right? Eddie Hernandez is not going to be here next season. He was just here to do a job, and I guess he did it. Hugo Gonzalez, we cannot lose sight of what he accomplished this season, being a very incredibly valuable utility guy that had surprising power. And really good stuff. Sisto Casadora, I know there's a lot to like about you. I know that you're not a terribly skilled defender, and we want to keep you out of the field if we can. But I'm really happy with what he achieved, and I really think he was a very worthy acquisition and a guy that got the job done in the postseason when it mattered most. Hernandez, I don't think anybody wants you. I think if I release you, I might end up regretting it later on. But I think if I don't release it, I regret it right now. I just think he's done. I think he's got nothing left in the tank. I think releasing him is the correct decision. It's got to be done. I guess I could try trading him. No, he won't accept a trade at all. That's my problem, right? I can't trade him. Edwin, my friend, you got 2 rings with the White Sox. You've had an outstanding career. You would go into the White Sox Hall of Legends if such a place existed. But you are way too over the hill. And you have nothing left to offer this franchise besides kindness. And so, my friend, I bid you a very fond farewell. If you would come back for like a couple $1,000,000, I would consider it. But I think even then, I don't think I would. But when you were hot, my friend, you were very, very hot. That's the problem, though, is that there's not really anything left there. Quick decisions here. Eddie Hernandez can easily leave. Edwin Peralta is going to get lots of money. And I guess the question is whether I bite the bullet and do it now, or whether I wait to see what he looks like next season, which I think is the correct take, by the way. But Murguia's gone. Grammer wanting $5 million is never going to happen. I don't care how good he was in the minors. It's just not a possibility. All right. We'll talk about this stuff next time, but we need to talk about our pitching too. Because the pitching was definitely there every step of the way. Alex Gonzalez might not have led the league in WAR again, and actually, in a lot of ways, was slightly worse than he was in years past. But he's still phenomenal. He's still an incredible pitcher. That's put up 42 wins, and he's not even 28 yet. What a guy. This is cheating. This is a cheat code to have a reliever this incredible on your team. He's just insanely good. Strikeout to walk ratio of 15.9. Most relievers are not worth this much. He is worth, we're getting a steal with him right now. What an incredible person he is. What an incredible pickup he's turned out to be. What an incredible pitcher. And it cost you Marco Ramirez. I'm not saying that it wasn't worth it. But also Michael Wolk. Holy shit. How the hell did you turn out to be a megastar? Where the hell did that come from? Well, he's certainly exploded. So definitely the Diamond Kings got what they were looking for too. Mike Cole, fantastic follow-up season. I know in a lot of ways he looks like he's slightly worse. But that's mostly because his ERA just wasn't quite as good. But he really did quite well. I want the walks to go down, obviously. But he didn't allow very many hits, and he got lots of strikeouts for 9 innings. And that's the key to being successful, no matter how the rest of it works out. Jeff Allen, very valuable piece. Michael Lowney showed another reliever could be exceptional. Alex Alvarado only looks bad because he didn't pitch as much. Andrew Picar is going to get his last turn in the rotation, but he is on his way out as well. Francisco Andrade, remember this name. This is a guy who just did the dirty jobs nobody else wanted to do and did them flawlessly. What an amazing season from a role player. We got a lot of that this year. We got a lot of that. Mitchell Backhouse, great bullpen. Ben Davis, amazing. Huigon Park, love it. Josh Heath, meh. Sergio DeLeon, not great, but fine. A lot went right. We got so many great contributions up and down the lineup and up and down the team that I'm really excited for what the future has for us. But I also have no illusions that we'll win 112 games again. I think too many things went right, and we shouldn't expect to be quite this good next season. But I ain't complaining either. Not even a little bit. My friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. And keep those suggestions coming in the comments. If you've got a great idea for what we should do in OOTP 27, I want to hear it. Until next time, my friends, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.